Hello, so in this video I will shortly talk about the specifications in the beginning of the video, and in the end it will be more of a personal experience and some tests. Also, it's the first time I'm reviewing a tablet, not a computer, so don't expect a very professional video. Hello, so today I got a new tablet, the Redmi Pad SE. Xiaomi just started the pre-order like a few days ago, so since my old Samsung A8 was getting laggy after some updates, I decided to get a new tablet. So, let's go first for the specifications. So this tablet has a Snapdragon 680, which has 4 cores of 2.4 GHz and 4 cores of 1.9. Also it has a Adreno 610 GPU, LPDDR4X RAM and eMMC 5.1. You can configure the tablet either having 4 or 6 GB of RAM. It supports up to 1 TB of SD card, and the OS supports RAM expansion up to 5 GB, so you use the internal memory to have a little bit more of RAM. And that's all for the RAM, GPU and processor. Let's go for the cameras. We have a 8 megapixel rear camera, a 5 megapixel front camera. Both can support up to 1080p at 30 fps. Now let's talk about the screen. It's a 11-inch Full HD display that supports the resolution of up to 1920 by 1200, has a 90 Hz refresh rate, or you can set it to dynamic refresh rate. The brightness is up to 400 nits, and the touch sample rate is up to 180. The touch sample rate is the rate in which the screen detects your finger touching the display, so it's important for reaction-based games. And for the last, we have the battery that is 8000 mAh, and it says 10 watts charging, although for me it maxed out at 18 watts, more on that later. Safety, we have face unlock. Wi-Fi, it supports 2.4 over 5 GHz, no 6G Wi-Fi. Bluetooth, the default codecs AAC, Bluetooth 5.0. The OS is Android 13 with MIUI Pad 14. Audio, we have 4 Dolby Atmos compatible speakers, 3.5 headphone jack, and some of sensors. And that's all. So in the next part I will talk about user experience. If you get bored, you can skip this part. When I booted up the tablet by the first time, it had already one update waiting for me. After updating, I went to the memory extension configuration and set it to the highest setting, that's 5 GB. If you click later, then it will, after the next reboot, it will still apply the setting. So the tablet itself, for me, well, what can I say? For me it seems that they got very inspired by the iPad mini, because even the buttons positions resemble a lot an iPad. You can see that the power button is on the up side and the volume mixed button is on the side. Also, while we are talking about the design, I want to talk about this awful aux placement. Seriously, it couldn't be centered like on the Samsung? Seriously? So let's take a look at the OS. I find that they copied a lot of things of the iPad, as I said. The OS for some reason doesn't have the switch the location button. As you can see, I tried like editing, I added every single like setting thing here. It doesn't have a location disable button, only if you go to settings, and not even in connections and sharing, no. You have to go to the bottom of the configurations to disable the location access. So, I connected a mouse to it, and here's how the mouse looks. Even the cursor is like almost the same as on an iPad, because the default Android cursor is like the Windows one but inverted, so it's black. Another limitation on this OS is that you can't add folders to your taskbar. The phone MIUI supports taskbar like folders, and even a Samsung tablet allows you to set folders to the taskbar. The default background is very also iPad mini style with all these lines. At least I know that the iPad mini background, it says mini with this kind of lines. Here we just have lines, but still it's very similar to an iPad background. So the screen recorder is kinda limited, and also if you try recording something, all the tablet lags as hell. So this is what I was talking about. On the Samsung tablet I can put folders into the taskbar. Also I can change the home screen grid to 10 by 5, 8 by 5 or 6 by 5. Something that's completely cut out of the Xiaomi tablet. I guess they are trying to so desperately copy iPhones or iPads or anyways, so here I show you that you can enable and disable the taskbar on the Samsung tablet, something that's not possible on the Xiaomi one. Also, you don't have like a line in the bottom of the screen. That's also something you can't disable on the Xiaomi tablet. So yeah, here it's disabled, and now I enabled the gesture hint, it's called. Yeah, something you can't do on the Xiaomi tablet for some reason. And also here's the location button that I was talking about before. You get this message, but you can easily turn it off, the location, and you don't need to go to the settings app to disable the location. So, the Xiaomi tablet is also very picky about the adapters. Only the Anker bigger one worked, the TP-Link one worked, and the Speon, the most left one, worked, but after some tries. I don't know if it's because it gives out like not enough power to power like the devices, or it has some software limitation. I guess as I talked before, they are trying to copy Apple so much, maybe they are limiting some stuff. I don't know really. Anyways, that's almost all about user experience. Here in Krita in the bottom you have this line, it annoyed me, the navigation bar. Here's a screenshot of the desktop. Well, here's also the permissions thing, and let's go to performance. This is the score that I got in Antutu. As you can see, the temperature didn't rise a lot, and also only 2% of the battery went into the benchmark, which leads me to think that the back cover of the tablet, which is made of metal, is like a giant heatsink. Here I ran a stress test on the temperature and it didn't rise even to 30 degrees. Here there are the results. We can see the 4 cores turboing to the expected frequency and the other ones. At first I thought it didn't get to the maximum frequency, but you can see that the other lines are behind. Here you can see the battery level and temperature, they didn't rise at all. Here you can see that it's 10 fingers multi-touch. Here is the result of 3D Mark. It shows the same thing, that the temperature didn't rise at all. So yeah, and here's Geekbench, single score and multi-core score. Here you can see a little bit more of the results, the floating point score and all the other stuff. Here's the multi-core performance. So I tried to run Genshin Impact, and since recording on the tablet would be very bad, it would explode I think, I recorded with my phone. So, on medium settings, 60 FPS with motion blur off, all medium, and not only like the medium that the game gives you, there is some other thing like SFX, something, I changed it also to medium. On all medium you can play very like comfortable, but if you change to high it's already laggy. So yeah, you can play on medium settings. So let's switch to charging. Charging is something I want to argue with the official website on. So the official website tells you that the tablet supports 10 watts charging, and also the charger that goes in the box is 10 watts. Someone count how many times I said charger in this sentence. So anyways, that's something I wanted to test, because let's take a look here. So I have a cable that shows you the watts that a device uses, and also a special thing that plugs into any charger or power bank that tells you too how much watts the device is currently charging. So it clearly says 17 watts. Sorry for my shaky hands, but it was a little bit difficult to shoot both devices at the same time, but you can clearly see even in software level, although it says 13, because well, Android can't really detect like exactly how much power it's getting, because I mean it's an app, it's not an OS thing, but you can clearly see by the other detectors that the tablet is using 18 watts. Also, I don't know, I find it interesting that the OS, it's like it's not supposed to have quick charging or fast charging, because the text here looks very strangely. This is this thing appears when you connect the cable, and it usually tells you how many like watts or what type of quick charge you are using. But here the text seems like very not adapted to the screen. Here's a few photos that I took, but I don't know who would use a camera on a tablet. It has also a documents mode, so maybe if you need to scan some documents, but it still would be a lot better to use well, your phone. Also, well, it has only 5 times zoom, in difference with the Samsung A8. that I had before that has 10x zoom. So this photo is from the Samsung A8. I like the colors more of the Samsung tablet rather than from the Xiaomi one. Here's the 10x zoom. Yeah, I don't know, it seems like the Samsung one has like a little bit more of color, although right now looking in on the editing both look awfully bad. It depends a lot on the light. Sometimes it helps the cameras, sometimes more like light makes the photo worse. So, one thing not a lot of people mention is that I don't know why tablets usually have a very bad Wi-Fi antenna. So we get results like this, where the speed is awful, the milliseconds are, well, worse than the other devices, and also for some reason some of Xiaomi devices, like for example this tablet, default to the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, not to the 5G one. So I don't know how to fix that. It doesn't seem to have any setting like power saving with Wi-Fi or something like that. So yeah, that's another issue it has. And I think that's all for this video. It's a good enough tablet. There are better, there are worse. If you want a Xiaomi tablet, well, that's your option. There are other brands of tablets like Lenovo. Samsung makes tablets, although they are a lot more expensive. So yeah, maybe you'll like it, maybe for you the issues I showed are not problems. By itself it works good, it doesn't lag on the desktop or any other like low usage app. So yeah, I think that's all. Thank you for watching and see you next time.